now. As always, I'm your host, Chuck Stevenson, coming to you from the WMMA Scene Studios. All right, guys, we're going to talk about tonight's Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Antonina Shevchenko versus Jaymee Nievera was the main event tonight. Jaymee Nievera coming in on like a week's notice. Let me bring up the records here. Antonina Shevchenko coming in at 5-0 versus Jaymee Nievera's 7-3 record. I would say if you look purely at the numbers, Nievera was definitely, should have been Shevchenko's toughest fight to date. But if you watch the fight, it didn't matter. Shevchenko won. And she was one of only there were 5 finishes again tonight that on the Tonight Show. Only 2 of them got a contract, and Shevchenko was one of them. And I'm about to bring some controversy, okay? So for all you haters out there that like to press the dislike button, might as well just press it now. Okay? There's your disclaimer. I don't think Shevchenko should have gotten a nod over some of the other fighters on the card tonight. Let me go back and look at this one. So, first fight, John Williams versus Tim Karen, was a 3rd round TKO via ground and pound. Second fight, second round TKO, head kick and punches. Julian Erosa beat Jamal Emmers. Third fight, heavyweight fight, okay? And the UFC needs heavyweights more than anything. KO, TKO, spinning back fist. Josh Parisian beat Greg Rebello. Co-main event, Tay Edwards beat Austin Tweedy by KO. It's like a single punch, 28 seconds of round 1. And then the main event was Shevchenko beat Jaymee Nievera by TKO with knees from the clinch. And I don't know, it seemed kind of like a weak stoppage. I mean, it was obvious, but it was like, it was kind of weak. 3 minutes, 32 seconds, 3 minutes, 22 seconds of round 2. 8 minutes, 22 seconds total. It was the second longest fight of the night. And anyway, having watched the entire night, I do not honestly believe Shevchenko deserved it over some of the others, okay? Look at the heavyweights. Josh Parisian came in on 4 days' notice. His opponent was minus 600 on the Vegas betting odds. And Parisian knocked him out with a spinning back fist at 1 minute and 31 seconds of round 1. And what did he get? He moved up. Dana White was like, he was an alternate on Tough, and now he's going to actually get to fight on The Ultimate Fighter. And the dude just shook his head. The dude's backstage listening, and he just shook his head. Dude was visibly disappointed, and I don't blame him. You don't go on the Tuesday Night Contender Series where you're promised that if you put on an amazing performance, you might get a contract. You don't go on there to get a tough contract, okay? If you already went through the tough tryouts, then they should have and if he was good enough then they should have put him on there. But suddenly, he wins a freaking first-round knockout, and he goes from alternate on the show to being on the show. That's garbage. I mean, I'm sorry. That's just garbage. Okay? Give him the contract. Heavyweight needs fighters. It is the most abysmal division in the UFC, okay? By far the weakest. It's weaker than light heavyweight. It's weaker than women's bantamweight, which is really weak right now due to the exodus of fighters down to 125. It is the weakest division, honestly, in the entire... second weakest division in the entire sport. The weakest division in the entire sport is women's featherweight. So it's the second weakest division in the sport, but the weakest division in the UFC, because I don't even consider women's featherweight to be a real division in the UFC, because there's 2-3 fighters in it. Okay? Heavyweight needs the fighters now. Don't make him sit out for 6 months on Tough, which he might even freaking lose now. The dude just gave you an impressive win with a really impressive... How often do you see a spinning back fist KO? Not often. Okay? And then, what was it? Erosa. freaking head kick and punches TKO round 2. He should have been signed as well. He was in the UFC once and he lost and got cut. I think he earned his way back in tonight too. I think he definitely earned it. Okay, over Shevchenko. Shevchenko came in. She came in well prepared, and she fought an opponent who was not prepared for this fight. Okay, and I've already getting into a bunch of arguments with people on the Stink Dog forums, the Sure Dog forums. I shouldn't call them Stink Dog. I love the forums, actually. Already getting a lot of arguments saying, well, I thought the whole point of was to bring in top contenders. Okay, she's 33 years old. She came in at 5-0, and she only had one opponent with a winning record before this. Okay, that's not a contender. Well, but what about a record in MMA, Muay Thai and kickboxing? Again, this is MMA. This is not Muay Thai. This is not kickboxing. And then someone came in, well, Holly Holm was mostly brought in because of her record in boxing before. Holly Holm had a much better record in MMA when she was brought into the UFC than Antonina Shevchenko does now, okay? Shevchenko has wins against, she's 6-0 now. Only 2 of her opponents have winning records. Okay? I'm going to be honest here. All she had to do was not lose, and she was going to get the contract. Now, whether or not you think she deserved the contract based off this win or not, and I'm not going to lie, it was a dominant performance. The clinch work was awesome. She tore her apart with knees in the clinch, and she resisted the takedowns, all but one takedown at the end of the first round. She fought off every takedown but one. Okay, so yes, it was a dominant performance. But again, it was a dominant performance against an opponent who came in on a week's notice. Okay, you look at statistics, and you're going to see that like 8 or 9 times out of 10, the opponent who did not come in the opponent who came in prepared will beat the short notice opponent. So guys, let me know what you thought about the fight, and let me know if you think that she deserved the contract above some of the other guys in the comments down below. And what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA now. We're not the biggest. We may not be the best, but you know what? We're here for WMMA and only WMMA.